how to optimize the distance, bring Asia and Europe together, and expand the market's geography. Coming up in the program, Road to the Future.
The geography of this Kazakhstani region is considered to be unique across Eurasia. The region is located in the heart of Kazakhstan and at the same time in the center of the Eurasian continent. In addition, it is situated at equal distances from three world oceans: the Arctic, Indian and Pacific. This distance is approximately 2.7 thousand kilometers. And finally, it is a home to the two largest steppe zones of the world, Bitpakdala and Sarerka. The Karaganda region is Kazakhstan's largest region. It occupies a territory of 428,000 square kilometers, or at least 16% of the country's total territory. Around 10 of Kazakhstan's large water bodies could fit here. These include the Caspian, Aral, Balkhash and Alakol. Another special feature of the region, the longest internal border. It neighbors 9 other regions: Akmola, Almaty, Pavlodar, Aktobe, Kazlarda, Zhambul, Kostanay, South Kazakhstan and East Kazakhstan. However, geography is not the only reason which contributes to the region's developed transport communication system. Its industrial focus also played a role. Zhezkazgan is the key industrial center of the Karaganda region, and it has simultaneously 3 developed types of transport communication: road, railway and air communication. Zhezkazgan's air harbor today has an international status. 3 important events led up to receiving this prestigious status.
Сегодня воздушная гавань Жезказгана обладает международным статусом. Получению такого престижного звания предшествовали 3 важных события.
In 1949, the very first aerodrome was built here. In 1973, the earth surface of the airstrip received its asphalt concrete coating. And finally, in 2014, the Zhezkazgan airport was completely modernized, from the airport building to the lighting equipment.
Здесь была проведена полная модернизация, начиная от здания аэровокзала и заканчивая светосигнальным оборудованием.
The sky above Zhezkazgan is a sort of an air corridor. A great number of flights connecting the countries of Europe and Asia pass through here. And even though from the great height at which air carriers fly, the city is not really seen, it is inevitably there, right under the skies. Today, flights from Zhezkazgan travel to 4 destinations: Astana, Almaty, Karaganda and Balkhash. There are no international flights yet, but nevertheless, technically this airport has the capacity to receive international carriers, such as Boeing 737 and Airbus A320. Coming up next, where do the railway lines of the Karaganda region lead? The history of reconstruction of Karaganda's railway lines is marked by 2 symbolic dates. In 1893, the very first railway lines on the territory of Kazakhstan were built. This was the narrow Pokrovskaya Sloboda-Uralsk line. And half a century later, the first managerial structure was formed: Karaganda Railway Lines. The process of development of Kazakhstan's railway network commenced in Karaganda not by chance. 1,940 kilometers of the steel roads pass through the territory of this region. This is the highest indicator across the country. The construction of the network of railway lines was premised on 2 factors: the central location of the region and abundance of natural resources.
Для освоения богатств центрального Казахстана требовалось...
A new infrastructure was needed to take advantage of the rich natural reserves of central Kazakhstan. And back then, the choice was made in favor of a railway network. Transporting cargo by railway is much more efficient than by other means. During the period of the Soviet economy, special attention was given to the Zhezkazgan station of the Karaganda region railway network. And this makes sense. Copper mines are located near it. That is why it was necessary to develop railway communication for the transport of the natural resources. The history of the Zhezkazgan station is inevitably tied with the development of copper mines. In 1912, on the basis of the Zhezkazgan deposit field, the Karsakpay copper smelting plant was created. On August 1st of 1928, a light narrow-gauge railroad was laid from the plant to Zhezkazgan. This date can be considered as the birthday of the railway station of the same name. Today, reconstruction is underway here in full swing. New lines are being built, the platform is being paved with tiles, a new building is built on the square in front of the station.
Около 13 зданий, сооружений будет. На второй пуск.
There will be around 13 buildings. On the second starting track, we'll have 8 lines, 17 lines, and a hump yard. We'll have 4 sections there.
4 участка будет здесь.
Centralized automated control will be used to operate 120 railroad points. In addition, within the framework of the modernization project, the lines will be extended. Each one of them will be extended from 850 to 1,050 meters. This is the first stage of reconstruction. The second will entail construction of additional 8 lines, as well as resetting of equipment. As a result of these works, the station will be able to accommodate additional transit and container trains. For a long time, Zhezkazgan, along with the unofficial status of the copper capital of Kazakhstan, had a great drawback. It was considered to be a transport dead end. The railway lines and roads that headed in the direction of the city from the east and north could not continue further on westward.
Тек қана мен өзі Жезқазған аймағы жайлы айтатын болсам, Жезқазған аймағы бұрын тұйықталған қалалардың қатарында, өлкенің қатарында болатын болса, бүгін үлкен транзит.
If before Zhezkazgan was one of the cities that was considered as closed, then today it was one of the main transit zones. Creation of new routes of passenger and cargo trains allowed to lift the economy of our region, increase budget revenue, and also resolve the human factor problem.
Жезқазған Бейнеу темір жолының арасындағы жүк тасымалдауының қолға алынуы, бұл өлкеміздегі үлкен экономиканың көтерілуіне, бюджеттік кірістердің молаюына бірден-бір септігін тигізіп отыр. Сонымен қатар адам фактор дейміз.
Zhezkazgan was able to get out of the transport dead end thanks to the construction of the Zhezkazgan-Beineu railway line. The commissioning of this line is a symbolic event not just for the region, but also the global corridors north-south and east-west, which connect with the railway lines, the routes China-Europe, and China and countries of the Persian Gulf.
Жезказган-Бейнеу.
Zhezkazgan-Beineu is the longest railway section which was built after Kazakhstan gained its independence. Its length, 1,000 kilometers. The road was being built gradually, moving from both directions, on the sections Zhezkazgan-Saksaul and Shalkar-Beineu. And on 13th of January of 2014, the long-awaited meeting of the two construction projects happened near the Koskol station. 374 kilometers of this branch are within the territory of the region, and 988 kilometers of the Zhezkazgan-Beineu Railroad connect the Karaganda region with other regions of Kazakhstan, Kazlorda, Mangostau, and Aktobe. And by 2020, an increase in annual transit cargo flow is expected here from 19 to 24 million tons.
Это дает возможность перевозки грузов.
This presents a possibility of conducting cargo transport through Kazakhstan to the Caucasus and Europe, the same way railway line has already connected Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Iran, and then further on to the Bandar Abbas port of the Persian Gulf. In the near future, another 8 passenger trains will be launched along this route, including to Tehran and Ashgabat. Arkalyk-Shubarkol, another strategically important infrastructural project on the territory of the Karaganda region. Thanks to the launch of the new railway line, the distance has been decreased by 1,000 kilometers between the stations Shubarkol, which works in tandem with the same name called deposit field, and the city of Arkalyk.
Километров между станцией Шубарколь, которая работает в тандеме с одноименным угольным месторождением, и городом Аркалык.
Arkalyk-Shubarkol, one of the infrastructural projects of Kazakhstan which was realized on a concession basis. 3 large national road construction companies took part in its realization.
При строительстве железной дороги встречались очень много препятствий природного характера.
We faced a lot of challenges related with the natural environment. These included swamps, rocky gravel, hills, which required blasting work so that we could lay the railroad.
Взрывными работами их проводили, значит, вскрывали и прокладывали железную дорогу.
The length of the Arkalyk-Shubarkol railroad is 214 kilometers. A large part of it passes through the Karaganda region, 163 kilometers. A smart road control system is used in this project. Now it is possible to pre-program the route of the train, and the railway points along the route will be switching automatically. At the same time, the program analyzes the technical parameters of the train, even the state of its mounted wheels.
До 2020 года планируется запустить.
By 2020, it is planned to launch passenger trains here. This is a big project. 200 kilometers in distance. Arkalyk-Shubarkol, then Jeskazgan-Saksaul. That's around 500 kilometers, hence a very big project, which connects the main transport arteries there.
Это 500 километров. Очень большой проект, она там связывает основные магистрали.
Overall, 7 stations and passing loops have been built within the framework of the Arkalyk-Shubarkol project. By the way, the already existing Shubarkol station already received its second wind. Today, its throughput capacity has been increased to 350 wagons per day. In 2017, according to the project plan, a hump yard will be built here. If it is built, then the station, which is of second grade now, will become a first grade.
Как горку построят, уже будет первого класса.
The infrastructural project Arkalyk-Shubarkol does not have just a transport and logistics purpose, but also social value. Just as with the construction of the Jeskazgan-Beynia road, all the specialists are graduates of the local specialized educational institutions, including the Jeskazgan College of Business and Transport.
The
Jeskazgan College of Business and Transport is one of the educational institutions in our region which prepares specialists in the sphere of transport, including railway networks. Also at this college we prepare specialists in the sphere of logistics. This college prepares graduates in 14 specializations, among them construction of railway and auto transport roads, automation and control, radio electronics and communication. Each specialization entails a practical component. For example, Maral Nur LLP, Chem Transport LLP, Public Service Center, the Jeskazgan Station, and other public partnerships, which help combine theoretical studies with practice. Coming up next, the tourist routes of the ancient Ulytau. In one of his interviews, Nursultan Nazarbayev noted which historical and geographical sites he considers to be symbolic for Kazakhstan. These are the Burel Mounds, the place of the Akarakai battle, the medieval city of Sarayshik, Turkestan, the spiritual center of Kazakhstan, and Ulytau, which is considered to be a sacred place within the vast territory of the Great Steppes. Ulytau is one of the most ancient massifs of the Kazakh Hiliki area, Sarayarka. The mountain chain stretches from the north to the south for a distance of 200 kilometers. The grandeur of these places is directly connected with the formation of the Kazakh Khanate. Ulytau was the place where many rulers who played an important role in the history of the Kazakh people established their headquarters.
Ulytau ең бірінші өзінің алып жатқан географиялық тарихи ландшафтысымен
Ulytau, first and foremost, is unique due to its historical landscape. It was precisely here that in the 6th to 7th centuries, the Turkic states were established. Second of all, back in his time, Kanush Satpayev used to say, just as Moscow is sacred for the Russians, so is Ulytau sacred for the Turkic people.
Кезінде Қаныш Имантайұлы Сатпаев айтқан болатын. Мәскеу қалай орыстарға қасиетті болса, Ulytaудың қасиеті түркі халықтарына осындай деп.
The foothills of the Ulytau have 636 monuments, 282 of which have been included into the historical and cultural map of the fund of the Ulytau Museum. The most ancient is considered to be the Dombaul Mausoleum. This is the largest stone structure in Kazakhstan and was built in the pre-Islamic period, approximately in the 6th to 9th centuries. The Dombaul Mausoleum is located 58 kilometers to the northeast from Jeskazgan. The emblematic monument is a structure with 4 corners made out of granite, smoothly shaping itself into a cupola. The original form of the mausoleum reminds of a large yurt with a height of around 9 meters. Scientists presume that Dombaul was a contemporary and a propagator of the ideas of the famous Korkut Ata. Having visited Ulytau, Chokhan Walekhanov, heeding to the words of the elders, made an entrance in his journal. Dombaul of the Kiyat tribe was not just a fine archer, but also a virtuoso kui composer who played in their original composition the melodies of Korkut on his kobuz instrument.
Mavzoley Ala-Shah-Khana.
The Ala-Shah Khan Mausoleum. Many legends have been written about this medieval monument. According to one of them, the progenitor of the 3 Kazakh hordes, Ala-Shah Khan, was buried here. However, historical science denies not just this, but also the fact of the existence of this person. Nevertheless, the legend lives on, and in a way that for many centuries it has become ingrained into the people's collective memory. And this is how the legend goes. There was a time when a great Khan ruled Ulytau and was awaiting for a successor for a long time. Once, the Khan had a dream that his son, upon reaching adulthood, stole the ruling power from him. After some time, the Khan did have a son. The boy was named Alasha, which means unusual or fancy-colored, because he was covered in pigmentation spots. The Khan decided that such a child is not worthy of the ruling title and sent him far off into the steppes with a nanny. Time passed and the boy became a man, and the residents of that area chose him as a ruler. We can suppose that since that moment, the very first mentions of a Khan that came from the common folk appeared. As a ruler, he managed his responsibilities with great skill. His people thrived economically and socially.
Өсіп-өніп халықты басқарып отырады, бейбіт өмір орнайды, халық әлеуметтік, экономикалық, мемлекеттің ішкі тәртібі жақсы болып тұрады.
And to continue the legend, in a couple of years, the Khan sent 3 viziers for tribute payments to an informal ruler of whom fame was spread in the Ulytau. They came back empty-handed. Then the Khan decided to go himself. And after finding out that before him was his son and a worthy successor, he handed over the rule of Ulytau to him, just like in the dream. The end of the story is as follows. Alasha Khan appointed the 3 viziers that his father sent him as the heads of the 3 Kazakh hordes. The famous geologist and historian Kanush Satpayev proposed the boldest hypothesis about this sacred place. According to him, Genghis Khan himself is buried in this grave. There is no proof whatsoever for this hypothesis, aside from one real fact. Not far from here is the grave of a person that was very close to Genghis Khan. Behind these brick walls, which were built in the 13th century, is a grave of a legendary person. Ancient records describe him as a good military strategist, fearless leader, and ruler of these lands. We're talking about Genghis Khan's elder son, Joly, who was laid to rest in the boundless steppes of Ulytau.
Тело которого обрело покой в бескрайних степях Ulytau.
The story of Joly's death has been recorded in a legend, and this is how it goes. Once upon a time, Joly, the son of the great Genghis Khan, went off to hunt for the wild Kulan horses. He got so caught up in the race after the herd that his entourage got left behind. The leader of the Kulan herd was Kazakh Kulan, who is distinguished for his strength and bravery. In order to protect the herd, he attacked Joly Khan, knocked him off the horse, and bit his arm. By the way, Karaganda also tells the story in his famous kui, Kazakh Kulan. The importance of the Joly grave as an architectural complex from a historical point of view is the following. During the conquest of Genghis Khan, Joly was one of the people who maintained stability on Kazakh lands.
Қазақ жеріндегі Шыңғыс ханның шапқыншылығы кезіндегі тұрақтылықты қалпына келтіруші тұлғалардың бірі ретінде айтуымызға болады.
The mausoleum of Joly Khan is a portal cupola structure of a rectangular form. The necropolis was built out of clinker brick and gypsum. From the inside, like bookshelves, 2 floors rise up, forming a tall cupola. For the architecture of the 13th century nomads, this is a symbolic structure which reflects the status of Joly Khan. By the way, according to historians, not far from here, a headquarters was established where the great Khans made important decisions. First Joly, then his son, the grandson of Genghis Khan Batı, whose rule left a great mark in the world history. First there was Ulus Joly. After, during the times of Batı, the Golden Horde was formed, the domain of which stretched from Ulytau to the Mediterranean Sea. From a historical perspective, the area of this territory was, if not more, but certainly not less, than the territory of the Soviet Union in the 20th century. Today, the sites that are connected with the Grand Genghis Khan and his descendants are of great interest for tourists. What's more, there are very few of them. That is why Sarıarka and its heart, Ulytau, is not just a sacred center of Kazakhstan. At the beginning of the 20th century, the manager of the London ore mining company Nelson Fell, during the works on the copper deposit field of Jashkazgan, said literally the following about Sarıarka: "The cradle of our civilization swayed under these stars." this is the place of its childhood.
Продолжение этой яркой метафоры.
To continue this bright metaphor, I would like to add the following. The achievements of the present and possibilities of the future, one way or another, have a mystic connection with the past. It is not incidental that this area was named Sarıarka. From the Kazakh language, it translates as the Yellow Range, or the foundation of the steppes. Today, this range is being fortified by steel railways, thanks to which Sarıarka is becoming stronger and more important. You are watching The Route to the Future. Until next time, on Route, which opens up new possibilities for Kazakhstan.
Новые возможности.